So what if you had an uncle that was so very rich? So what if he died, and then he left you something oh so mysterious? Money? A house? A creepy little doll? No, nothing like that. Not like that at all. He left you a book with letters written in red ink. And so you read it. What else would you think? And so it's not so scary, but stories and the like. Dead ghouls, dead girls with murderous thoughts and big knives. So what? Your uncle, he could have been Stephen King. However, that recluse never published a thing. And then you come to the end, and there's this story so uncanny about how a child's uncle that died and left him something so creepy. A book written with letters crimson red. And something fills you with a little dread. So you reach the end and you find there is none, and you think to yourself, that's no fun. So you continue on with your life, you put the book away. You continue on with your mundane day-to-day. But then you hear something, rumors at school, from kids who say they are haunted by this ghoul. He has big ears and he hears your thoughts. He eats your dreams and leaves your nightmares to rot. And you think to yourself, that sounds familiar, because it's a story in that book your uncle left here. But you think to yourselves that can't be true, so you go to sleep that night, assurance anew. So then you dream so very nicely, but you then hear this crunching and munching. There's lips smacking, teeth cracking, a sensation of saliva so wet, slimy, and drooling. Heavy, ragged, greedy breathing. You don't dare look into the dark, because you know the Dream Eater will leave its tooth marks. But then you wake up with nothing to fear, because in the end, it was just a nightmare. And so pretty soon it's Halloween night, and your friend says they'll dress up like the girl with the knife. And you look puzzled and you say, "Who's that?" And they say, "Don't you know it? She was accused of being a witch. So to prevent an ugly end by the townsfolk, she took a knife and slit her throat." And you think to yourself that's a little creepy, because you know it's another of your uncle's stories. So you go to the party, and you have great fun, and everyone gets a little more than drunk. But then you find yourself alone, and you see this figure coming from the shadows, and in her hand is a knife, and her throat is dripping red. And you know who it is. Your heart is filled with dread. You're left shaking in the dirt. You want to run, to hide, but your legs don't work. And she lunges at you with a knife to your neck, only for you to feel it's rubber and fake. And your friend laughs, and you don't find it funny, but she says it's great, and it's fun to feel scary. And of course, you don't agree, but you let her run amok the rest of the night free. Later that night, when you go home, you go back to read your uncle's tome. And when you go to the story about the inheritance, you find there's more there than when you had left. You find out the child had more strange occurrences, all seemingly from the very book's pages. And the letters of red seem oddly fresh. You feel something, someone, breathing down your neck. You turn and you find there's nothing there, nothing but empty, shaking air. So you tell yourself that you've had enough, and the only solution is to burn this book to dust. But before you do that, you have to make sure the story will end and you won't have nightmares. So you start writing, this time with your own letters of red, just to make sure the tale reaches its proper end. And as it was written, the book was burned, to ash and flame, all its pages turned. And from you feel lifted a glorious weight, and you think to yourself, yes, I did something great. So that night you sleep without dreams or nightmares at all, and your friend tells you that they had a ball. And so you tell your mother that you finally burned Uncle's book, and she gives you this rather strange, concerned look. And you are just as confused, wondering what you said so radical. And she says, "I don't have any brothers, and you don't have an uncle.